Welcome, friends. I'm Ron Rose, Executive Director of the Jensen Beach Chamber of Commerce, and you're watching Focus on Jensen Beach. On today's show, we're going to be exploring 2 bed and breakfast inns in the Stewart area. Our first stop is going to be here at the Homeplace Bed and Breakfast facility on the corner of West 5th Street and Akron Avenue in Stewart. Let's meet the innkeeper here at the Homeplace Bed and Breakfast. First of all, her name is Jean Bell. Hi, Jean. How are you?
Hi.
Welcome to Focus on Jensen Beach.
Hi. Here I go.
That's fun. We'll have a good time. Now let's. How did you get involved in bed and breakfast?
By saying something to my husband one time that I probably should never have said when I was out on the fields back here picking some fruit, and I said that house back there would make such a wonderful bed and breakfast. And then lo and behold, changes of events, obtaining property, moving property, and all of a sudden I'm an innkeeper.
Now you all live nearby here.
Yeah, we live across the street, Stewart Executive Courts.
And you, so then this is really just like an inn where you don't actually live here?
No, I'm in and out. I always time myself so I'm here before guests arrive and visit with them, kind of get a feel for them. Sometimes people want to be by themselves, other times they enjoy, kibitzing and talking with the innkeeper, so you just kind of feel out each guest and act accordingly.
Now you are the first bed and breakfast facility in the Stewart area.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
And how long have you been here?
It was 3 years this last August, and we're just now really getting on a roll. It takes so long to build up clientele.
Right. Well, I'm anxious to go inside here and see the ambiance of your bed and breakfast in here. What style has it taken here?
Well, it's kind of Victorian. I have a lot of Eastlake furniture. I had a lot of leadway because Matthews, the original owner of the home, was here from the time he built the home in 1913 up through the 70s. So I figured if you live in a house that long, you have older things along with newer things, and so I had a lot of freedom as to what I wanted to put in the house.
Well, let's go.
Come on in.
Okay.
Come on in, Ron. This is what I call the welcoming room. This is where I greet guests initially, and sometimes we stand and chat, and when we flow into the parlor area, and they always want to make a comment on the piano because it is a unique furnishing, and so many of them want to know where I found it, and I say, well, I was on my way home from racquetball one day, stopped in Roberta's Furniture, and lo and behold, there it was. And then later I found out that Mrs. Matthews taught piano lessons in this house back in the 30s. I've had people that have come in and said, oh, I used to take piano here. Is that her piano? And I said, no, it was just one of my lucky finds.
Well, you have really done a fine job here. This is a very impressive room. Jean, I noticed a lot of older photographs here in the room. Is there any significance to these photos?
There really is. I'll show you right here. This is Sam and Edie Matthews' wedding picture back in 1901, and this would be what would be her engagement picture. Over here we have when his contracting building was across the street, and that shows in the 20s with the whole family coming in their Model T that they're contracting.
Jean, one of the charms of a bed and breakfast is obviously the breakfast, I'm sure.
Right. Well, this is the dining room, and this is where the gathering place in the morning. The trays that you see up on the wall are what I actually use to serve breakfast on, and then I have my antique china, the sterling silver serving pieces and things. What I have found is that when you have all 3 couples sitting down here, you get very good conversations. Sometimes you get as long as maybe 3 hours into conversations, and everybody kind of bonds together, makes new friends, and goes away with a very good feeling about B&B people.
Well, that's what it's got to be one of the pleasures of being at a bed and breakfast.
That's right. That's what it is. It's part of the charm. It's not like a sterile environment that you would have in let's say, a grand hotel, where you don't have the camaraderie of the guests.
So there really is a great uniqueness in bed and breakfast and what you might find in a hotel.
Oh yes, yeah, that's what people are looking for when they come to B&Bs. Once you stayed at a bed and breakfast 9 out of 10 times, you won't go back to staying at a large hotel because you get so accustomed to that little special charm.
Right. I noticed that you have a swimming pool here. Does most bed and breakfast have a swimming pool facility?
Not all the time, and we have the heated jacuzzi. That's one of our nice features.
Well, let's walk out there and look at your pool. Now, Jean, you were telling me about that you moved this house.
That's It used to sit over there basically about 2 lots over on the other side of the fence. They're going to develop that with Creekside Commons eventually once the economy gets a little more conducive to that. So we moved it here, bought the apartment building so we could have this parcel of land, and this whole compound then is available to guests.
This is really nice. I imagine the people, one of the main attractions here is that they can come out here and sit by the pool.
Well, our people that come from Canada are in the water continually. This time of the year we don't get our locals in the water at all.
How long do you normally have people stay here? 1 night, 2 nights, a week?
I have a lot of honeymoon couples. That usually generates just the 1 night because they're going to go down to West Palm, get on a plane, and go elsewhere for a longer time. This time of the year we get people are staying maybe 4 or 5 days because they're coming down from the north, staying longer. You know, if I made an average, it would probably be 2 or 3 nights.
And your clientele has grown over the past 3 years, I'm sure.
Yeah. Most of it is referral. You know, like I was telling you about the guests that are here today that are local people, their houses being termite tented. They found out about us in St. Augustine by staying at an inn through people that were there visiting from Miami that had stayed with me. And so everything is kind of word of mouth and passed along that way.
Well, let's go up and see the bedrooms.
Okay, let's do that.
Gene, one of the things that I've noticed here that I'm sure makes this a very popular inn is each room has its own bath facility.
I think nowadays everybody would prefer that. You know, in England you probably still have a bath down the hall, and maybe some of the older homes up in the New England states. But I think anything that's opening now new is thinking in terms of making a private bath.
And you've told us that this is called Opal's room.
Opal's room. Now, Opal's room came about. We were on the kitchen tour for the Environmental Center 3 years ago when we first opened. A woman came through, was so taken by what we had done, she went home, came back with a big box full of her great aunt Opal's memorabilia. She says, here, take it, use it, display it. She says, it's not doing me any good, and people would love to look at it. So all the photographs and things that you see around are Opal at different stages of her life.
And you have a diary here.
Diary. She went on to be an opera singer in Europe during the late 20s, early 30s. And we have the diary there on the bedside table that kind of tells of her adventures while she was in Europe.
Okay. Now what you've named each of the 3 bedrooms.
Yeah. We have Prissy's porch, which is the more frilly of the 3 rooms. Captain's quarters are very nautical.
Where are we going next?
Captain's quarters.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Grandpa. Can I come over tomorrow for a swim?
Susie, it takes a few days for my electric heat pump to heat the pool. How about next weekend?
Okay, Grandpa.
Hi, Mr. Comparison here. Well, sure, Susie. We'll see you tomorrow. In fact, bring your friends. We'll have a pool party. When you dare to compare, you'll discover a propane pool heater will heat your pool in hours, not days, and your spa in minutes, not hours. So call today for a free estimate. I say try County Gas.
Collecting and making porcelain dolls is rapidly becoming one of the world's leading hobbies. Doll lovers can make their dreams come true at Doll Makings. Doll Makings offers a full stock of porcelain greenware, painted and unpainted bisque kits, ready-to-assemble doll kits, and dolls at every stage of completion. Doll Makers holds open workshops so you can choose the days and hours most convenient to your schedule. Doll Makings is located in Port St. Lucie at 9116 South US 1 in Eastport Plaza. Call 335-7500.
What I like about this room is the nautical theme, and so many of our guests, especially the masculine ones, if they came ahead of time to pick the room, this is the room they would pick, 9 out of 10 times. And when the girls come ahead of time, they usually pick Opal's room or Prissy's porch.
It's a very charming room. You've got pictures of boats. And
yeah, we have the old Charlie Morgan. We have the Mystic Bell here. Now, this is the bathroom that was originally in the property, and when we had to redo the walls and everything, we just changed the door to make it a private bath.
So this was the master bedroom?
This was the master bedroom.
Okay, and then our final bedroom is?
It's Prissy's porch.
All right.
Okay. This is Prissy's porch. This is the last of our 3 bedrooms. This is really the favorite with my honeymoon couples. I do put like bunting and things around the bedboard and some flower decorations up to make it more festive. This was an old-fashioned sleeping porch, which was added to the house in the 30s. That's why we have the outdoor flue going up from the back of the house.
Well, you've done a fantastic job with this bed and breakfast inn. I'm impressed. Every room has its own charm.
Thank you, Ron.
Where organs yell and clacking holes drive few, and clothes are hanging out all day.
This is our Homeplace album, and again I have the pictures of Edie and Sam Matthews when they were married and starting in the home when it was built in 1913. What I've done, I've gone to the library and looked up on a lot of microfiche and pulled out articles that mentioned Sam Matthews, some of the work that he was doing downtown, Kimberly Apartments, the Victory Hotel, a lot of big mansions out on Sewell's Point that are still viable homes today.
Imagine the guests really like this historical
They do.
information.
They really get off on it. This shows Edie Matthews sitting at the piano, which again I said, was the one that she gave lessons.
Well, you can really understand by just looking at the Homeplace Inn why there's such a resurgence of bed and breakfasts across this country.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. There's such an interest in his history and salvaging what we have in our past. Learning, there's so much to be learned from history.
Well, again, you've done a real fine job with this facility. And Jean, thank you for being on Focus on Jensen Beach.
Well, thanks a lot. I've enjoyed it. It's been a big kick for me. Come back.
All right, we will.
For children growing up, the world is fresh and new, with loving parents there to guide them and make difficult times easier. That's why thoughtful parents invest in a pre-need trust funeral plan. Makes sense financially, and it lessens everyone's pain at life's most difficult time. Call Acock Funeral Homes, serving the Treasure Coast with 4 locations, to explain their pre-arrangement plan. It's the most thoughtful thing you'll ever do.
I suppose getting older has its drawbacks. Your hair starts to get thin. You can't stay up to the late show. And spicy foods, forget them. But it's not all bad. When you turn 55, Great Western will give you a free checking account. Now, that'll save you money. It'll make you feel good. So if you're 55, talk to Great Western Bank. They've got 8 ways to get free checking. I'm going to do it in about 10 years.
Welcome back. Now we're visiting the Harbor Front Inn Bed and Breakfast facility on the St. Lucie River, tucked away real near the hustle and bustle of the Roosevelt Bridge. With me is the host and owners of the Harbor Inn Bed and Breakfast, John and Joanne Elbert. Welcome to Focus on Jensen Beach.
Hi, Ron.
Now, what makes your inn that I noticed right off very unique is that you're on the water. People can arrive here by boat or by car.
Correct. And if they do not have their own boat, they can charter a large 34-foot sailboat or a small Boston whaler for fishing.
Now, you were talking to me earlier about one of the unique features of your bed and breakfast facility here is that some people can stay right here on this boat.
Sleep aboard, we call it. It's kind of for the couple that would, maybe they're considering buying a boat or just would like to know what it's like to stay aboard overnight. We moor them right off the dock here and take them out to the boat, and they view the sunset from the boat, and then in the morning we bring them a great big basket of goodies for breakfast.
Okay, now the atmosphere here has taken on more of a old Florida atmosphere. People are here to relax, correct?
Definitely. Our home, built on the St. Lucie River here, was originally, as you can see, the front of the house faces the water, as do all of them along Atlanta Avenue. Being that back in the early 1900s, Atlanta Avenue did not exist, there was not a road. So we fronted the river, we're part of the old pioneer Stuart. Ron, as you notice, as we're approaching the house, we have a large, expansive yard. Lots of places for people just to relax. The hammocks are really, there's some weekends where you have to get by reservation only. And then there's other weekends where the yard takes on a transformation and we have large outdoor events and weddings and very different affairs. So we go from one thing to another. We have some of our guests here from Virginia. This is Dottie and Jim McDermott, and this is their second year with us, and they love the sun, like to get away from the snow, so they spend it here at Harborfront. Let me introduce you to Carol Berg. Carol's our only employee here at Harborfront, and we'd kind of be lost without her.
Joanne, what made you want to get into bed and breakfast business?
Something other than a 9-to-5 type job. We have some friends in the upper Wisconsin area that opened up their own inn, and we kind of helped them you know, helped them out when they first started, and it seemed like an intriguing thing to do. We found the perfect property we thought was really unique, and we also thought it was very Stuart, downtown Old Stuart, and ourselves were complementing one another, what they're trying to develop here in this area.
Okay. Now, this is the commons area, correct?
Yes, this is all the common area of the house, which it more or less means that it's open to all the guests. Pretty much from 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning when the first pot of coffee's on, till 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening. There's board games to play. Some people just like to relax by the fire, if we ever have cool enough days, which we've had very few this year. The porch is great, as we just walked in through the porch, just for sitting, watching the boats go by, dining. We have breakfast on the porch, breakfast in our atrium, which is over to the side of the living room and is an open air effect. The sideboard, as you see behind us here, is always has something on it: cheese, fruit, Perrier, ice, Oreo cookies, for those when you get those attacks and you have to have something chocolatey. We always try to provide for everybody.
Now, one of the, from what I understand, one of the successes to bed and breakfast is word of mouth.
I'd say that 75% of our business is referral. Someone comes, they like it here, they send someone else our way. And actually, the locals have been really good to us. Everyone in Stuart or Jensen area or Martin County area has someone coming down to visit. They don't always have the room for them. So we get Aunt Mary and Uncle Joe for a week.
Well, the things that I've heard about the Harborfront Inn is that you have a fantastic breakfast. Let's talk about that.
Well, I like to cook, and I think it's part of running an inn. So our breakfasts are very, very large. We start with lots of fresh Florida fruits, and we have our own fruit trees on the property. And then we go to hot entrees and homemade granolas and everything in between. We usually put out a large buffet when we have, I'd say, more than 6 guests. When we're over 6 guests, we put out a large buffet and everybody helps themselves. They may dine inside, outside, meet with other guests and mingle, but breakfast is for sure a 2-hour event here at Harborfront.
Now, you told me earlier that you are open to local people for meals if they call and make advance reservations. Is that correct?
Ron, on a very limited basis, we offer our Friday night fish grills, which are becoming very popular. We started them about 2 years ago, specifically for our guests, and then we now have quite a few locals that come and attend. They're very relaxed, informal affairs. We're limited as far as our seating and our sizing goes, but generally 20 to 24 people on Friday evenings. We do it all season long.
I would take it then reservations are required.
Reservations are a definite must. Yes, they are. Valentine's Day, we're going to have a celebration of romance on the lawn. It will be a full course dinner, and of course reservations are required also for that.
Now, as far as your sleeping facilities go, how many rooms do you have here?
We have 7 various types of accommodations. Our cottage is equipped with a kitchen, and so is our riverfront apartment equipped with a kitchen. So that's more or less for the person going to stay a week or a month with us. Then we have 3 suites, a room, and the sleep aboard the boat, which you all saw just a few minutes ago. We have some romance rooms, some suites, come for a honeymoon, wedding anniversary, and then we have some real comfortable rooms for somebody that wants to stay a week.
Okay, which of these rooms are you going to show us now?
I think I'm going to show you our latest addition. This room was originally the old sun porch. Everything in the house, our floors are still original, and the restoration was done with a lot of fine care. We hope that we've captured the spirit of the old sunroom by leaving the old walls, the windows intact. Ron, this is the entrance to the sunroom. Each one of our rooms here in the bed and breakfast has its own private entrance, which is a little bit unique. This one also affords you a sun deck. It faces the winter sun. It's great for sunning.
Boy, this is a nice room.
This is the original wall the back of the fireplace from the living room. We just left it exposed, pretty much how a porch was years ago. I believe these windows were added sometime in the 1930s, and they just afford you such a great view here. This is really my favorite room.
It's a beautiful view. It's very open, airy, and I really like the feature of each room having its own private entrance. I really like that. Where are we going next?
Well, let's go on back outside again, and we'll take you over to the guest house and show you our Key West style house. Okay. This is our guest house, and unlike the main house, this was built to complement the original home. It's about 14 years old. We've kind of added the decks in the back and have given it a slightly Key West style. The garden suite sits here to this side of the house, and it's very popular with honeymooners and someone coming to celebrate an anniversary. The room's all done in whites and wickers, and it's a favorite spot for a lot of couples. Lots of repeat business here.
So the area in the center here could be used by this room or the other?
Yes. The French doors open up into a library and a small kitchen. And then from there, there's another set of French doors to go into the riverfront suite, which is also a large two-room suite. Now, during the summer, this is really popular with families for reunions, and they take the whole thing and sleep maybe 12 people.
Joanne, you and John live here at the Harbor Front Inn.
Yes, we have private quarters upstairs, Ron, but we share our kitchen, living room, and all the common area with all of our guests.
So this is really like having guests in your own home.
Oh yes, we've had some people pitch in with their favorite recipes and cook up for the rest of the guests.
So everybody congregates in the kitchen then, huh?
Yeah.
Just like at home.
I can't get them out of the kitchen. And it's a very spacious kitchen. It's large. It's very inviting. So it's just a natural draw. It's a natural magnet for somebody. Especially a lot of businessmen are traveling there by themselves. They just as soon sit here in the kitchen, read the paper, talk to me while I'm preparing their breakfast.
That's really nice.
Mm-hmm. We have a commercial-sized range, a huge range, and a lot of people who love to cook, they just come in. The first thing they see in this kitchen is the range. And I say, yeah, you love it, but you don't have to keep it clean. Ron, this is one of the original rooms in the home that was built in 1906. This room has had very little done to it. It still has some of the old plugs where the gas lights were and so forth, and we left them exposed because we thought it added to the charm of the room. The house is kind of built in a Nantucket style. You'd feel very much that this room could come from New England. So it's a contrast to the Florida-style room or the sunroom with your whites and your wickers. And also, we designed it pretty much for that person that likes to come back in the afternoon, lay out on the couch, take a nap. You know, they're going to be here 3 or 4 days, so they want a little bit more room, something a little more comfortable.
Well, there's a lot of work that's gone into each of these rooms in this house, and I imagine you and your husband had a lot to do with that.
Yes, we did. We've done all the decorating ourselves and most of the remodeling ourselves. John's a man that wears many hats, depending on what needs to be done that day.
Joanne, I think that this was a real interesting show here today for our viewers who could see an alternative to lodging facilities in the Stewart area. A lot of people, again, don't realize that this bed and breakfast is tucked away right back here on Atlanta Avenue, right along the St. Lucie River.
Well, let me use that to say everyone's invited to come and take a look at our facilities, be it for one of our fish grills on Friday evening, just to check our accommodations for out-of-town guests, or if someone's just looking for that special place right here to get away to. It's not necessary to drive to the other coast or to drive to South Florida. I think that we can have a nice weekend right here in town.
Well, the atmosphere here is just wonderful. You wouldn't even know that you were in Stewart, being right here. That you're right here on the river. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
You know, Ron, it's a beautiful place to live and to enjoy our gorgeous sunsets. And no matter how busy John or I get during the day, there's always that 30 minutes when the sun goes down that it seems like all the guests gather. We have a small sunset fest, and everyone takes some time just to sit and marvel at what we do have here.
Well, thank you for being on Focus on Jensen Beach.
Oh, we're so glad that you came.
And we'll see you all next week.
Stewart Business Systems, your headquarters for all your equipment needs. From desktop facsimile to plain paper facsimile. From desktop copiers to full copier systems. Computers, printers, typewriters, and more. Of course, Stewart Business Systems provides a full line of supplies. Professional on-site services. Stewart Business Systems is locally owned and operated. Visit our showroom at North Shore Plaza or call 692-2100.
If I thought that no one cared about the things I do in life, well, I'd still care about working hard and making it turn out right. Made in America, that means a lot to me. Oh, I believe in America and American quality. Here's to you, America, my best I give to you.
At Budweiser, we salute with pride what all Americans know in their hearts. The American workers' commitment to quality is stronger today than ever.
Here's to you, America, my best I give to you.
Nothing beats the quality of the American spirit.